Lesson 5, seeing life from God's view. Now, just to get us to start talking, because this is a lesson that we can discuss together as we look at the scriptures. How do you think if God was to give you a pop quiz and ask you a question, what would you think the response would be? How do you think God view your life? Personally, how do you think you look at your life?
You keep popping the back of my head.
You know. And that's how we have to think about it. And daily, because watch this, I'm going to put it in this terminology. You know how us that are raised kids or still raising kids or that have raised kids, you know, we monitor their life because it's teaching moments. Because when we chastise them, when we give them advice, our children, so that's the same way God looks at us. You know, he monitors our life, he views our life, and he do it in a sense so he can teach us to stay on the straight and narrow path. Because look, you know we're not going to be perfect, but what he expects us to do is to learn from our mistakes and not keep doing the same thing. So, and when we start thinking like that, okay, hold on, I can't do this because God is watching. Because sometimes, let's be honest, we don't always think like that, because if we did think like that or start training our minds to think like that daily, hold on, I can't do this, God watching, we will be more cautious on what we do, how we act, and what we say. So we have to start training our minds. So the lesson is teaching us, in order for me to really know what my purpose is and what God has for me, I have to start now training my mind to think, look, which he is doing because God is omnipresent, he's everywhere at the same time. We have to train our mind, hold on, I can't act like this because God is watching me. He's viewing my life. And if I act or way or do something that's not lining up with him, I'm getting off my purpose. And then I said in another lesson, it's a sad thing to pass, go to sleep, and you didn't fulfill your purpose because it was your fault. You kept getting off track and off course. Because watch this. We got to remember who God is and how he is and his character. God is God of love, which means he gives us free choices. Not saying he's not going to chastise us, not saying consequences not going to happen, but God gives us choices. So anytime something that we are in control of don't line up with God, and it causes us to get in a country word, a rut, or off track. It's our fault. It's not God's fault. And that's what we have to start teaching others. Quit blaming stuff, quit blaming stuff on God. No, you did that because you thought about it and you wanted to do it. But it sounds so easy and good. We blame stuff on the devil sometimes because he don't have no more power than we have. And then we say, God allowed this to happen. No, he gave you the choice. That was the consequence. Based on your choice, that's why things happen. And that's how we have to start teaching others. No, God didn't. It ain't his fault. It's your choice you made. And that's the consequences that came with it. Coming. So here it is. So we need to ask ourselves, I need to see life from God's view. How do God view my life? How do God see me? And if you think back in your head, how do God see you at this moment and point that you're at in your life? Do you think God is pleased with what he sees? As we move through the lesson, the question we need to ask ourselves, how do God see you? And the question I want you to think in your mind, is God pleased with what he sees? The image and the picture that you're giving him on how you live and how you life, is God pleased with it? I love it. It says, we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. Just think about that. Let me say it again and let that down. We don't see things as they are, which means like it may be A, B, C, and D. No. Normally how we view things or get what's the word? Our conception, our viewpoint on something is based on how we are. Okay, let me say a little bit. Y'all looking at me like something. Y'all got a piece of juice in my face. Most of the times when we view or get an outcome or a situation, it don't even be what it is. It be because that's the way we viewed it or looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, fine. Okay, if I go to the store, I come out, I went and bought a 1 liter iced tea, but if I wrap it up in a paper bag and come out the store holding it like this, the first thing somebody gonna think is,
Well, in a can, it been used.
so you're viewing it because that's your mindset of viewing. But if you just ask me to lay down the bag, you're gonna see it's a 1 liter iced tea. All right, another situation. An individual passed by and they see a person maybe standing outside talking to somebody of the opposite sex on another side of town. First thing they're gonna think something negative. Because that's what's in them. That's because that's how they are and they're viewing it. Or another example, somebody always got something. Have you ever been around somebody that always got something negative to say? Have nothing positive to say? And it ain't that the situation, I forgot about you. It ain't that the situation is negative, but it's just how they are. They always like a negative person. So we don't see things as they are. We see them as how we are. Because we always got that negative mindset. Can't find nothing good to say or think. Go ahead, then, mother.
When you said that last one, you changed so when I first came, when I first started coming to Trinity. When I first started coming to Trinity, I come here with a hat back like this, and I wear my hoodie with my headphones and my shorts, matching sneakers like I just had. But there was a lot of people in leadership that was more concerned about how I look on the outside versus what I was going through on the inside.
Right.
So one guy thought he gave me this little cheap suit, and thought because he gave me this cheap suit, that's what changed was going on the inside.
Right.
So yeah, so he gave me this little cheap suit, and
Yeah, I said it more than one time. That's how you are. You said it more than one time. You being fit.
yeah, but I'm saying the fact that, he gave me the suit, and I guess he figured because now that I got a suit, and I'm in my 50s or 40s or whatever, I guess that's what makes me a Christian now, that when I walk to the front, now I'm Christian. That ain't had nothing to do with nothing that was going on in here.
Right.
But, and then the other thing was, when I talked to my cousin on the phone, and I Minister Phil talked about this before, but this scenario is different from mine. I tolerate how, when I talk to my cousin on the phone, the way he talks, I tolerate it. But then when I hear my son talk like that, I get upset.
Right.
And I know when God looking at me and saying, how you get upset with your son because he lived with you, but then you tolerate it when you deal with other people. Right. And so, that kind of, you know what I mean?
Because that's how you are. Yeah.
I know that's not, but it's just that, because I know, because I love my son and I want to see him better, even though there was a time when I lived a certain type of way. Right. So I'm more concerned about him, and I should be concerned about both of them. Right. But because it's my son, I'm more concerned about him than my cousin.
Yeah, I agree.
You get what I'm saying?
Go ahead, mother, and then I see you. Go ahead.
I was thinking, somebody stopped by one day, and they said, I just been wondering, I just seen these cars in front of your
They had something negative. No, maybe he was ill or...
Maybe she was ill.
And I just reminded me of that, and I laughed. I said, I'm gonna keep you all thinking.
Right, that's true.
Lord.
That's true. They put it on the
No, I was just gonna say to Kerwin, like I could see his point of view. And I can depending on like how well you know a person and how the person like can be like if it is a person who, do things to be seen or if they're messy or if they're anything. But my mom always said, if you're gonna talk about somebody, talk about helping them out. So maybe that person was just a helper and they assumed that you would want, it don't matter whether it was cheap, expensive, or whatever, it mattered that maybe they was that type of person or maybe they was being messy. You never really know with people and that's where discernment come out.
Yes, okay. Yeah. But I'm glad I got y'all thinking, but you see how just this lesson makes us think about different situations on how people are and how they do things and take things a different way. And so I'm going to run right through our handout. First line, it says, the way you, now the puts it back on us, the way you see your life shapes your life. Let me say it again, the way you view it. See, this is what we have to get to. Of course, I open up with the example making us think how people look at certain situations. Some of us humans, some of them make us think, oh, but they really being good or was they being those? But now, we got that part. Now we need to move to this person. The way you view your life shapes your life. Because, watch this. If I wake up, and you try this exercise, some of you can already do it. If you wake up thinking negative, the rest of your day gonna be negative. You wake up thinking positive, no matter how you feel, because we have to realize this, your mind is more powerful than you give it credit for. You can really determine how your day gonna go. Now, you can't determine how people gonna react or how people treat you, but that don't mean you have to respond like other people respond to you. Let me say it that way. Which means if somebody come to you being petty and negative, that don't mean you have to get on their level. Well, let me back up. That don't mean you have to come down to their level. Right. We're supposed to be striving for here because we're Christians, we're believers. Positive energy is up here. We don't want to come down here with negative. So how you view your life shapes your life. So the question that I want us to ponder real quick as we move through it, like I said, this is a discussion and a thinking lesson here. How do you, at the point and the stage you at now in your life, how do you view your life? Have you ever just sat and wrote it down and thought about it? How do you really look at your life? Oh, go ahead.
That reminds me of someone came up to me and they were saying, I know you believe in a higher power. And I said, well, thank you. And they said, you must be a very religious person. And I said, I try to be a righteous person.
Right.
I said, I don't know about religious because I haven't really searched that out. I said, but I do try to do the right thing. And that's the way I try to live. And I try to tell people that.
And that's how you view your life. And that's you trying to do the right thing. Trying to be right by people. And that's good. And watch this, because when we start thinking or take time to think if we haven't, how we view our life, and watch this, if you don't like how your life is, you have the power to change it or do something different. And quit trying to follow other people where you at. Well, why you not follow that in your life? Nobody has power or control over your life but you and God.
Unless you get it.
Exactly. Go ahead, what you going to say?
I was just gonna say this, I'm gonna just be honest, because sometimes you gotta do that with yourself.
Right.
For real. And I don't even know how long it's been, but I have had several people over the course of my life, but just really in the past year, like we'll say 4 people tell me, wow, you really encourage me and you really do these things, but it's like, if they're saying when I encourage them, then they seeing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to be mindful of too, not just for the most part, I'm pretty good, it's like for all parts. And like you said, just because